Morning everyone, so today we're at a Citroen C3 2017 and this is a diesel engine. Customer's complaint is emissions fault light is on. Let's see, we'll start it up. It appears up here. Anyway, there we go. Engine fault, repair needed. And it did say emissions. There we go. AdBlue emissions fault. Pressure of urea fluid pressure too low. Oh. Well, the only way that could be is either a leaky injector for the urea fluid, AdBlue that is, or the pump in the tank. So, and everything else is clear, so we'll save that. Post repair, sorry, keep dropping this camera. Come back, we'll go into ECM. Pressure of urea fluid pressure too low. So they said that's a temporary fault. But I think they filled it up with you. Well, let's stop talking and let's just go and get the data. It just said that's the fault there, but at least before it said it was a temporary fault. So if we go back and we're going to read data stream, am I right in saying these usually about 5 bar or something like that? Be part of the Denox system. Now let's go into here. Select all. Denox 9. There we go. On standby. Urea module stopped. Pressure of the urea fluid 4 bar. That's no bad. That's no bad. So is that a temporary fault? Maybe it's ran low and it'll no clear the fault. But let's look at this in special functions. Oops. Well, first things first, let's clear the fault code. So there it's back, so let's go back in again. So read fault code. Oh, we've got no fault code. Let's quit the module. It went green, so let's go back in, enter. Wonder if that just flashed up and it has cleared. So special, let's go special function. So it says service action, work on the emission control system, reinitialization of the Denox system faults. So let's see what this says. Ignition on, engine not running. So we'll do that. Okay. Reinitialization of the Denox system faults. Okay. Okay. Start again, see if this flashes up AdBlue. No. So nothing there. So let's go to read data stream. Select all. So Denox catalytic converter urea load £0 on standby. Don't know if anything's changed there. Stopped 4 bar. Quantity of urea 0 reference. Volume. Oh, don't like that. The volume of urea fluid measured in the urea reservoir 0. So some away. Let's go to the next one. Select all. Authorization of injection of urea based on pressure, no. Based on injection authorized. Pressure's a bit low. At least the NOx sensor's working. Temperature of a urea fluid. It's not showing anything in that tank. Invalid value. Well, let's give this a wee drive. Don't like that. But the pressure looks okay and it's not authorising it. I just gave it a short drive and you can see that's went from no to yes. So I think the temporary fault, whatever it was, I'm not sure if maybe the AdBlue ran low and you had to clear the code with a tool. It's now went to yes. So let's see, is it authorised? This thing is still invalid, but maybe it's just based on pressure. I do not know. I don't know. So that's went yes. So let's see, back. I will go to Denox system 1, select all, okay. Steady pressure, average consumption, so I think that's bingo. I think the thing's moving and it's okay. Urea gauge stop with urea solution. Yeah, but we're building pressure, but at 5.45 bar. Let's keep driving and we'll see if that thing changes Citroen, there. So after a week, the AdBlue light came back on again. So we're running the scan on it. Engine, here's our one. Pressure too low. So it's this code again, P20E8. Now I'll show you on Diagnostic and TSB, this code can refer to lots of things. But one thing we think is maybe leaking pressure. Or the other thing, the fluid level sensors maybe gone as well, so let's go into it. So there it's there, enter, so there it's there. Back out of that, we're going to data stream. Denox on standby, remember we had that before, it stopped. See, we're still at 4 bar. It's working is between 8 bar and the rest, but I don't know, it could be the injector that's on this thing. I mean, there's talk about a leak near where the heater is, but if I've still got 4 bar of pressure, I don't think that's my problem. There you go, emissions fault. This is the one, look. Valid, invalid value, so let's hit that. We've got no reading at all. Would that be the one that's bringing it on? The level sensor in the tank? I would think so. Back out of that. And we'll go Denox system 2. Select a lot. No injection authorized. Oh, volume of urea fluid remaining in the urea reservoir 7.71 litres. There you go, good job I checked that. Let's see. Pressure of exhaust gas estimated by NOx sensor 1 bar. See, this AdBlue's terrible stuff, it goes everywhere. Volume of urea fluid remaining in urea reservoir 7.71 litres. We're either looking for a hole in the thing or I'll select all again. Pressure of urea fluid, volume. So it does work in the other pin, so maybe it's just not working in that. I think we need to look at the injector. I think so. Nice, so if you do the code search, it tells you to do reductant pressure too low. So it's either the pump or it has a leak, or it could be the injector. I don't know about that, but AdBlue's terrible stuff for crystallising, so it could be that. But here's another nice feature. Oh. Data stream, so that must just take you into the relevant stuff that you require. It's because Snap-on's got, well, it takes you right to it, but it saves a step, that's what I'll say, it just saves a step, but but there's no any freeze frame, is there? No. Right, you need to do your homework. Let's look at Diagnostic. Vehicle at the front, and here's the AdBlue injector. So we're going to go after that. That's the most problematic thing in these systems, simply due to the develops crystals in it. Seemingly you can wash them out, but it's only a temporary fix. This one's getting replaced. There's the tubing going up there. But where it's routed to, I do not know. Seemingly you can take this out and do a test in it. But we've not got time for that. Everything else looks bone dry. This is underneath this little Citroen, and we're looking for any leaks. I've seen a bulletin from Diagnostic about leaks on this system. I can't see it. There's the NOx sensor. That's the NOx sensor going into the exhaust there. Here is I've connected the vacuum gauge into where the quick connect for the urea injector is. I've just made up my own piece from an old one. I've just cut it off. I'll show you it. And what I've done, I've connected it and drawn vacuum. It's been lying it like this for the last 10 minutes. So that's holding a good 25 inches of mercury. So that says to me all the way for the injector, all the way back to the tank, that pipe work is good. And I kind of suspected that when I was seeing 4 bar of pressure. And it was eventually getting up to 5, but we're now at the stage we can't even get it to build pressure. With the new injector installed, because this is the old one, we put a new one in, we can't even build pressure anymore. And we've told the computer it's got a new injector, and it ain't working. But I certainly don't think I've got any leaks like that, showing that figure. There's the connection I've made up there. That's from an old AdBlue injector. So I think that's a valid test. What do you think? But there's another test we can do. So I've pulled 25 inches of mercury down through the old injector. So that was good enough, eh? And that's me on the new injector that's on the car. You can see that holds a vacuum. So it's just I don't know if the test's meaningful, but why is it no building pressure? Why is the pump stopped with the new injector and will not go again? Old injector is back in now. See how that goes, reinitialised. Different scan tools give you different information and how it's displayed. So I went and got my friend's Autel, which is up to date, unlike mine. Now you can see there it says AdBlue DEF fluid pressure. It's saying it's 73 psi, that figure there. But I reckon that's the DEF fluid pressure and not the AdBlue pressure. But this is bizarre. So I put the old injector back on, and it says now that the pump stopped, blah blah blah, right? So we can see that. It says stable pressure average consumption. So I've not had the engine light came back on yet, but if we go into this one, now I could never get this to do it with a brand new injector. It says authorization, yes. Injection authorized. But then again, what's that saying yes to? Is it the DEF or the AdBlue injector? I need to look at that. So the NOx sensor is heating, so it's bizarre how different scan tools display different information. But what I was going to say was try special function. No, let's go and put this machine back on and see what it's saying about AdBlue. Before we go back to this other machine, here's maybe another bit of the puzzle. See this one here, AdBlue DPF ECU. Now there is an ECU on the top of the tank, but I can't read it. See if I hit through like that, it says no com. So my question is, on a 2017, should I be able to communicate with that? No sure, because all the communication is done through the engine ECU. So that's another part of the puzzle. No sure if I should be able to read that or no. So just as we suspected, it's back up to 4 bar. Now I was sitting here for days and it wouldn't build pressure. Today it is building pressure. Man, this is bizarre. So if it's saying it's got 4 bar, the other day it was only half a bar. and it says it's got volume of urea measured in the urea reservoir 2.6 litres. That seems low, doesn't it? Should take. Never mind, never mind. So could not get the bill pressure with the new one on it, right? So we'll come out of that. We'll go into Denox 2, select all. Authorised based on pressure, so hit say no. The other one said yes. It says there's still 5,000 kilometres left. Engine coolant's fell a bit, so we need to keep driving her. But the very fact that we'll built pressure again, which we could not do before. Oh man, this is doing my head in. This car is a total head scratcher. Now we had put a new injector in it, it wouldn't work. We put the old one back in it, it wouldn't work either. And I've left it over the weekend, came out and drove it, and now the thing is working again. So this car's got stop start, and eventually it's just stopped here now, and I think it's meant to be able to hold its pressure for 3 minutes at least, with the engine no running. So my question is, what the hang is up with this car? Because I know it's meant to be between 5 and 8 bar, but it's getting there. I mean, it's sitting at 5 bar and it's hardly fluctuating. I'll put the camera off and come back after 3 minutes. So after 3 minutes, it's held its pressure. The car actually is cut back in there. See, that was the other thing. That figure sometimes says invalid and sometimes comes back again. So I went back and checked the fault codes. Now we're getting a P20E8 urea fluid level signal blocked. So what the hang does that mean? Urea fluid level signal blocked. Is the innards of this tank just going haywire? Is that what it is? So I've done a test called the Denox system bleeding test on the Autel, and it says test completed, failure, bleed too rapid, confirm, go back to the menu. So it's looking again like the tank, yeah? The pump in the tank. On again. See, that's all the tests you can do under active tests. So, I'll start the car back up. Let's see, check the pressurisation of the Denox system. See, it says the engine hood has to be open and also the start-stop has to be deactivated. So I went into here and you've got to go hit that there to turn it off, and then you do your test. So let's see this, I'll show you at the end. You hear the pump running. So it says operation completed, next step. Test completed, no fault, confirmed to go back to menu. Okay, ignition off. And then on again. So pass that test okay. But it's the bleeding test. See if there's any trouble codes. Nothing at the moment. So I'm running this thing, and it's running at 5.3 bar, getting up to about 5.69 bar, which looks all good. So what I'm going to do is run that bleed test again to see how that responds on this machine, because it never said pass or fail, it just said completed. So actuation test. Okay, I put the start stop to off. I then go test emissions control system, check off the bleeding of the Denox system, right? So it says open the hood and everything like that, done all that. So we'll start the test. Activation done, a problem occurred during the operation, activation not possible. So I ran the test this time and it completed it, but I left the start stop on. Oh. Right, so fair enough. Go okie dokie, Ignition off. Okay, ignition on. Okay. And we'll check the pressurization. We'll check the pressurization with this tool. I quit out this test the last time as well, so let's see. I think you've got to come out the module and go back in again when you're doing other tests. So let's do the same test with the hotel again and see if it fails it for bleeding. So here goes. Check Denox system bleeding. Okay. We'll go OK. When the test is complete, the report will be presented. Start. I would say it's not much of a report, right enough. Last time I could hear the pump spin up. Can't hear it this time. We have operation completed. Next step. Test completed. Failure. Bleed too rapid. So that's at least giving you something there. That's giving you nothing. Let's do this one. Check the Denox system flow. The engine off, the test must be performed. So, engine off, ignition on. Okie dokie. The test is used to check the flow of the Denox system is correct. The test must be performed when the AdBlue injector flow checking operation is made with the use of a graduated receptacle. Oh, I've not got that, so scrap that. And there's the... Let's try the Denox efficiency. So we'll go for this. Okay. The engine itself will under specific conditions effectiveness of the Denox system. After the test, a report about the problems detected during the test will be saved by the tool. Okay, start that. Now that's it. There we go. We're revving up just over 2000 RPM. I'll get back to you. So that's the revs came down after 6 minutes, I would say. This is test still in progress. So just keep waiting till this clears. Oh, here we go again. It gave a little rev there again. Operation completed. Test completed. The Denox catalytic converter not empty. Fault in the Denox system. Confirmed to go back to menu. Oof. Right, okay. My only complaint of this is a big call if I call a tank and a pump. We're getting into the regions by the time the job's done, what, £1,500, £2,000? So, I really don't want to make that call, being honest with you. Correct something here. I was wrong. That is the pressure of the AdBlue. Because if I go back into that, I looked at that figure and I thought that must be the DEF, and that's AdBlue. But anyway, I would say I have learned nothing. We're no further forward. Well, I've learned something. You don't know which scan tool to trust, and so it is a big call. And I think it's back again to the tank, and unless I try putting the new injector back on again, but I'm scared it wouldn't bleed back up again. Couldn't bleed the system, because bleeding could be through the injector as well. But the very fact it wouldn't work with this shouldn't. But I'm just wondering, did the pump was just having a bad day? That Friday feeling, and it started working after the weekend? Don't know. Next step. I phoned a friend, and they said with these little cars, they're usually the problems on the Citroen DS's. But what they did say is make sure you have 10 litres of the stuff in it. Now, this is bizarre. I'm sure it said at one point there was more than that, but it's showing at the moment 2.5 litres. So I've came to my local petrol station, and the guy says, just fill it up from the AdBlue pump. It's cheaper, only 99p a litre. So we'll go and put 10 litres in it and see how we get on. And we'll watch the scan tool as well. It just keeps clicking. Dude, this tank will not even take any. It is absolutely full. So I wonder if there's something up with the level sensor in the tank as well. Next stage. New injector back in again. So I've installed it, told the car we've got a new injector and reinitialised it. So we're sitting at 4 bar this time. Let's drive it till we get up to 80 and see what happens now. I've not got the pressure to build yet, so it's still at 4 bar. But let's try these tests again with this new injector installed. So special function, well it's not that, it's active test. Oh, I could hear that pump. Let us see, I want to come out of that and see what I just heard that pump prime, I'm sure I did. So here we go, Denox system. Ah, we did. I heard that the other night, so if I hit that, there we go. Just when I was sitting there idling, that jumped up. So, let's come out there, let's do the test. So we've got active tests. Okie dokie. Emissions test. And let's do the check the pressurization one again. Let's just do this. We know this passed the last time. Start. So it says operation completed. Test completed, no fault, confirm and go back. Okie dokie. So ignition off, ignition on. So let's try, start it up. We'll put this thing off again, right? So we'll check the Denox system bleeding this time. Right, let's go okie dokie. Okie dokie, start. So it's going, that's good. Here we go, operation completed. I heard the pump again. Failure, bleed too rapid, still there's a problem. It's the pump. We're trying to avoid the inevitable here, but it's the pump. So when you install the new injector, this is the procedure. So you go special function on the hotel. You go pack special function. You go parts replacement. You go work on emissions control circuit. And then you go AdBlue DEF injector replacement. You press that button there. They ask you to switch off the ignition for 30 seconds. And that's it coded in. Then once you've done that, you go back here. You go service action. You then go work on the emission system. And then you do reinitialization after the AdBlue DEF injector replacement. So that worked this time. Don't know why it didn't work the last time or on that tool. No idea. But it worked. So we seem to be going fine, but it still fails the test. But we have no engine management light coming on. So again, we're at this occasion that we need to let it go and see if it comes back. It's a pain, but I can think of no other. So there you go. Right, that's after quite a long run. So what I think, but I'll need to check, go back in the footage. I think we're holding better pressure now. I think we're slightly higher at 5.7 bar. So I think the last time we were just over 5 bar. And when I'm driving down the road, I can see these figures, see the reference value and the quantity injected. So it is putting stuff into the exhaust. And let's check the fault codes again. Trouble codes. Nothing. So I think it would be prudent just to let this go. Who knows? Just can't think of anything else. But as I say, it certainly looks a higher figure. Not by much. 82 psi, 83 psi. But it seems to be higher. So we try again. Although I've never seen that move. But then again, the ambient temperature here today is about 11 or 12 degrees. So may not need power at that pipe work. But this has been bizarre. And I don't like the looks of this figure as well, because that tank's full. Unless it's just a bad filler. So I'm doing this check of the bleeding of the Denox system, doing it on the snap-on tool, and let's see what results we get from this. Because it failed on the hotel, the top down was useless, never gave you a result. But let's see what it does with this. Down now. I was ready to call this another useless tool. I seem to spring into action. So what we're meant to do now, hit stop. Oh my goodness. I'll just wait. With the hotel done, it done it quicker than this, so I take it I have to hit stop. Is that what I have to do? Start again. Hear the pump going. Oh dear. Now we're getting a longer countdown. Wait till we get to the end. This is no very clear. This 3, 2, 1. So what's meant to happen here? Stop it. We're in an infinite loop here, with no any results. Oh, useless. Now that test is more than useless, that's quite damaging actually, because see, it now sets fault codes that weren't there before. Now after using our snap-on machine, I don't know if this has caused it or not, but we've got AdBlue light on. This thing says Diagnostics, top up the AdBlue, and we now have a code, a P20E8 permanent fault, AdBlue DEF level signal blocked. If we go into freeze frame, see the date, crankshaft speed, vehicle speed 24 miles an hour, voltage supply ECU 15. The pressure was good, it was at 82.9, so what's that, 5.7 bar. Exterior temperature 59 Fahrenheit, quantity to AdBlue injected 0 it says. Let's see that better. Volume of AdBlue DEF remaining in tank 0.46 gallons and 0.63 gallons. So once I had that fault with the AdBlue light up there, the only thing I could do to get rid of it, I was go into the charging, filling, bleeding, so I'll escape for that. So it was under this one here. Oh, let me see. Go back. Service action, discharge, filling and bleeding. I had to hit this one, and that's the only one that would clear that light. Oh man, I hate this car. Right, let's keep driving, see what she does now. I think that actual problem was caused by the snap-on tool, being honest with you. I know it says it's only got 2.5 litres, but that still should be enough to keep us going. But oh, so I think what we've decided here, this thing needs an AdBlue tank. AdBlue type. Speak to my mate Dave Sterling. Common problem, he says, so need to bite the bullet. £1,000 for the tank.